Good afternoon, good evening, all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, good evening. Sorry, had to reschedule this class. Yesterday, 12 o'clock was not feasible by any means. So I had to reschedule this.
Sir, I had a small doubt.
Hello?
Sir, like, can we have a case where potential is zero, but we still have some field?
Potential is a reference line. I can take that to be zero anyway. Right? But your specific example, if I deal with, I'll have it in electrostatics much more easily than compared to gravitation. Minus q and plus q, if I have at the center, potential is zero, but field is not zero. I have minus q and plus q. At the center, potential is zero, but field is not zero. But the general answer for that is not that. Potential I can take zero anyway. कहीं पर भी ले सकता हूँ. I take this as potential zero. I'll take this as zero. I'll take this as zero. I'll take this as zero. So if you ask me, can I take potential zero? कहीं पर भी ले सकते हो. Potential is the relative.
Okay, so but in traditional way, like you told, electrostatic
In
example.
gravitation, you will not be able to catch up. In electrostatics, you can clearly see that potential is zero between two charges.
Okay, sir.
Now, some student is typing, your screen is blurred. Is my screen blurred?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Oh my God, yeah. Yesterday's class I rescheduled, and now if there is a network issue, I am in soup. When will I reschedule this again? Let us pray that the network doesn't trouble us. We started with Kepler's first law.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did we deal with semi-major axis, semi-minor axis? R1 is A into 1 minus E, R2 is A into 1 plus E.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We even
Yes.
saw different eccentric orbits.
Okay. We saw the orbital velocity.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes,
Equal
sir.
to
Yes,
V.
sir.
Parabola, hyperbola दिखाए मैंने for satellite.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now in that case, we deal with Kepler's second law. After introducing all three laws, we deal with the problems of this. Right? Kepler's second law is actually a consequence of conservation of angular momentum. Kepler's second law is a consequence of conservation of angular momentum. It says dA by dt is constant. For what? If the radial vector connecting the planet and sun, if the radial vector connecting the planet and sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. The radial vector connecting the planet and sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. In 1 month, if the planet comes from here to here, it will come from here to here. This area will be the same. This is what Kepler's second law says.
So can you dictate the statement again?
I will dictate the statement, but Ansh is saying I have not done semi-major axis. Okay, sorry, my bad. Fine. Okay. Now, write down the statement of Kepler's second law. Radial vector connecting the planet and sun. Radial vector connecting the planet and sun. Radial vector connecting the planet and sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. Sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. Radial vector connecting the planet and sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time.
So it is radial vector, no?
Radial vector sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. I'll prove that. First, make a note of this.
Done, sir.
Done. 1 minute, 1 minute.
Now, how do we prove this? We are aware of the fact that if this is the sun, the radial vector is this within the planet, the sun. The planet moves a distance of v delta t in time delta t. Planet moves a distance of v delta t. Distance is velocity into time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This angle is theta. This angle is pi minus theta. What is the area swept by the radial vector? Half into base into height. Half into what is this base? R. What will this height be? I know the hypotenuse, I know this angle. V delta t sine pi minus t. V delta t sine pi minus theta. This angle is pi minus theta. So the perpendicular will be sine pi minus theta into V delta t. Right? Now, M V R delta t sine theta. Sine pi minus theta is sine theta. 2M. What did I do? I wrote V delta t as it is. I wrote sine theta from sine pi minus theta. I multiplied the numerator and denominator by m. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
dA by dt is equal to mvr sine theta divided by 2m. This will be L by 2m. mvr sine theta is angular momentum, and I know angular momentum is conserved. About which point? About the sun. Why? There is force of attraction between the sun and the planet. It passes through the sun.
Yes,
So
sir.
about the sun torque is zero. If about the sun torque is zero, angular momentum is conserved. If that is conserved, dA by dt is conserved. That means dA by dt is L by 2m, which is a constant. The radial vector connecting the planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. So the other way of writing this is aerial velocity is constant. Aerial velocity is constant. Other way of writing this is aerial velocity is constant.
Because L no sir, aerial velocity, no, it's constant. And L is coming in the formula.
Right. L is angular momentum, which is constant.
Yes, sir. Okay,
This
sir.
Noted, sir.
Sir, 1 minute almost.
Done, sir.
Sir, 1 minute almost, sir.
Now Kepler's third law. Kepler's third law. T square is directly proportional to R. This is quite easy to be proved for circular orbit. If a planet is going around in a circular orbit, what will the orbital velocity be? Gm by R. How did you get this orbital velocity? G capital M small m by R square is m v naught square by R. Capital M is the mass of sun. Small m is the mass of the planet. V naught is root over of Gm by R. Something that we did for orbital velocity of a satellite around the planet. Right? And Kepler proved all this using only observations. That's the beauty. He doesn't have the theory. Angular momentum cases don't exist when Kepler dealt with his laws. Newton's laws were 200-300 years after Kepler's laws. तो मोमेंटम ही पता नहीं था, एंगुलर मोमेंटम कहां से पता. Now this time period will be 2 pi r by v naught. 2 pi r divided by v naught is gm by r. T square is 4 pi square by g into mass of sun into r cube. Hence T square is directly proportional to r. But this is for a circular orbit. What will happen for an elliptical orbit? For an elliptical orbit, if this is r1 and this is r2, a is equal to r1 plus r2 by 2, semi-major axis. T square directly proportional to a cube. T square directly proportional to a cube. So in an elliptical orbit, instead of radius, you will take semi-major axis. Proof of that is not difficult for you people, but it is not there in your syllabus. JEE people clearly specified Kepler's laws for circular orbits only. That's why we are not going into that proof. But the fact that T square is directly proportional to a cube, you are supposed to know, where a is the semi-axis.
So you said that we have only for circular orbits, so will the second law also be applicable for circular orbits?
All three laws applicable for all orbits. In your syllabus, JEE people committed a very funny thing by specifying clearly circular orbits. So now they don't know what questions they can ask on this, because circular orbits means everything becomes a straight hit. So from there onwards, they're asking questions only on escape velocity and gravity, small g. So their hands are also tied. They wrote in syllabus Kepler's laws, and in bracket they specified circular orbits. Why they did that funny thing, I don't know. Both JEE mains and advanced.
So for the entire Kepler's law, you only consider circular orbit, then only for third law.
All three, Kepler's laws, all three. So in the syllabus, in the family of ellipses, they are dealing only with circular orbits.
So then first law and second law we did for ellipse.
Neil, switch off the mic. 4 बार बोल चुका हूँ यार, क्या चाहते हो आप? गूगल सर्च करो, ओपन करके सिलेबस देखो।
नहीं सर, समझ गया।
सिलेबस 3 बार बोल रहा हूँ, फिर चौथा बार आप। Now, listen. This is you are projecting this with a velocity of u. U is less than escape velocity. So the body will not escape from Earth's craft. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Now they are asking you what is the maximum height to which small m rises. Find maximum height to which small m rises. From the surface of Earth, what is the maximum height to which small m rises? Is the question clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, clearly we told you one thing. In this subtopic, there are only two things that you can do as far as physics is concerned: conservation of energy and conservation of
Angular momentum.
angular momentum. See the part follows. Now, where velocity is perpendicular to r, that will be the maximum height. Where velocity is perpendicular to r, that will be the maximum height. What makes you think that it will come back? You have given less than escape velocity, right?
Yes.
So it will come back. So it is a bound orbit. When the velocity is less than an escape velocity, the total energy will be a bound orbit. Total energy will be negative.
Yes, sir.
Now, conservation of energy and conservation of angular momentum. Half mu square minus g capital M small m by r is equal to half mv square minus g capital M small m by small m. Half mu square minus g capital M small m by r is the potential energy here. What will be the potential energy here divided by small r? Half mv square. I have two variables to deal with. One is v, one is r. That means I need one more equation. What is your second equation? Conservation of
Angular momentum.
about the center of Earth. About the center of Earth. Now, there is a u sin theta component and u cos theta component. This u sin theta doesn't disturb my angular momentum equation in any way because it passes through the center of Earth.
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
So initial angular momentum will be mu cos theta into capital R. Mu cos theta into capital R. Extend the line of action of linear momentum and drop a perpendicular.
Yes.
What did you do to u sin theta? 0. Because it is passing through the center of Earth. Come to this point. MVR. two equations and two variables. Will I be able to calculate R? R is R plus H. He's asking you for capital H. Eliminate V from these two equations. Calculate V from here and substitute here, you will get R. Once you get R, equate R to R plus H, the job will be done. Can I rub the board?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No. Listen carefully, you will attempt this question. This is of radius R and mass n. This is of radius 2r. So what will be the orbital velocity? Root over of gm by 2r. This is a satellite going around the Earth in a circular orbit of radius 2r. It is a satellite going around the Earth in a circular orbit of radius 2r. Right? Firstly, till here is the question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now write down this statement. A gun mounted on the satellite fires a shell of mass small n. Fires a shell of mass small n. A gun mounted on the satellite fires a shell of mass small n, aimed straight towards Earth. Aimed straight towards Earth. With a velocity 100 meters per second. With a velocity 100 meters per second. Fine. The closest and the farthest distance of approach. Find the closest and the farthest distance of approach. Find the closest and the farthest distance of approach from the center of Earth. Find the closest and the farthest distance of approach from the center of Earth.
Of the satellite.
Shell. Satellite.
Okay, sir.
Shell. Shell is fired aimed straight towards Earth with a velocity 100 meters per second. Find the closest and farthest distance of approach of the shell from the center of Earth. Question at the first instance will appear wrong, but the question is correct. Think carefully. Question at the first instance will appear wrong, but the question is correct. Already one student answered the answer as R and 2R. Matlab he fell for the trap. R and 2R, why will we ask? I'm firing from a distance of 2R, it reaches the surface of Earth. R and 2R is the closest and farthest distance of approach. You really think I'll ask you that question?
So can you do sometime?
Nine, you got it correct. You're on the right track. Continue. Yes, quite a few got it correct. Don't spell out the hint. Let the others try. So, yeah, Manas, you also got it correct. Vinayak, you're right. Continue. Ashok, right. Shall I tell you the hint? The velocity given for the shell is with respect to the satellite. Velocity given to the shell 100 meters per second is with respect to the satellite. Cheating कर रहे हो यार, you didn't tell that in the question. You don't need to. If it were with respect to Earth, the shell is fired straight. Farthest distance is 2r, closest distance is r. The question doesn't make sense. If that velocity was with respect to Earth, you are firing something towards the, you are firing a bullet towards me. Farthest distance is from where you are firing, closest distance is when the bullet enters me. The question doesn't make sense. So the velocity given is with respect to the satellite. If this is the velocity, this will be the resultant velocity. As a result of which it will move this way. Small r. That is the hint. Yeah, you will get a quadratic equation in terms of small r. So there will be two routes for small r. One is the closest and the other is the farthest distance of approach. Because V perpendicular to r will happen at 2 points, closest as well as farthest distance of approach. V perpendicular to r will happen at 2 places. So the two roots of the quadratic will be closest and the farthest distance of approach. Yes, the answer will be big. Don't type the answers. Total initial energy is half small m V naught square plus 100 square minus G capital M small m by 2r minus G capital M small m by 2r half mv square minus G capital M small m by small r. This is my first equation. Small m is of no significance, it gets cancelled. V naught is this value. Multiply all throughout by 2. V naught square is Gm by 2r. V naught square is Gm by 2r. Now simplification is not difficult. This is Gm by 2r, this is 100 square, Gm by 2r, Gm by small r. Two variables are V and r. Now the most important point is V is perpendicular to r. Only then it will either be the closest or the farthest distance of approach. V is perpendicular to r. That you have not incorporated in your energy equation anywhere because energy is a scalar. Right? Now V perpendicular to r. Conservation of angular momentum. What is the initial angular momentum? mv naught into 2r. Listen carefully. All of you listen, you must learn this. Technically, in angular momentum, what did we tell you? Extend the line of action of linear momentum and drop a perpendicular on it.
Yes, sir.
Extend the line of action of linear momentum and drop a perpendicular on it. So technically, I should extend this and drop a perpendicular on it. But I will not do that because I'll simplify my simplification. I'll not take the resultant. I take this and this velocity separate. This and this velocity I will take separate. Why will you do that? Because this velocity component, when it passes through the center of the earth, it gives me zero angular momentum. I will take this 100 meters per second and V naught separately. I will not take the resultant. Reason being, this velocity component is passing through the center of earth. So mv naught into 2r, final angular momentum mvr sin 90. Two equations and two variables should not be difficult.
Sir, so for the previous sum we did where we fired a projectile, even in that we'll get a quadratic in R where we'll get two roots.
You will closest and farthest distance of approach. The other will be deep inside it.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. One will come negative.
Yeah, one will come negative. That means from center of earth, this is one coordinate, this is one coordinate for this orbit. This is R2, this is R. In fact, in your booklet exercise 4, they asked you to prove that R1 and R2 is independent of the radius of the earth or something of that sort. The two roots of that equation, if you add, the quadratic equation of the sum of the roots will not be difficult for you to calculate, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, we do not simplify further, right?
We don't need to. When they give you values, if you simplify, it will become easy. As capital and small and simplification will be different. Here you can do the simplification. Small and gets cancelled. Here it is not very difficult. Only thing expression will be large.
Can you repeat that? You're saying about 100 and then V naught with separately, sir. I didn't get that.
100 is passing through the center of the earth, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the angular momentum?
Zero.
About the center 0. So this car taking is easy, right? mv naught into 2.
Yes, okay.
If I take the resultant, I'll have to extend the velocity and drop a perpendicular.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Now, did I calculate the total energy of a satellite in an orbit?
Yes, sir.
Bound orbit, unbound orbit, difference in energy.
Yes.
Did I tell you? Fine. Now listen.
So you just told that total energy is negative, which means it's a bound orbit.
Right. Perfect.
Okay, sir.
Now, there is one satellite which is going about an orbit of radius n times r. Satellite is going about in a circular orbit of radius n r. Right? This satellite is being subjected to resistance by cosmic dust. Resistance offered by cosmic dust is directly proportional to v square. Directly proportional to the velocity of the satellite square. Resistance offered by cosmic dust is directly proportional to v square. Right? So, if there is resistance, energy of the satellite will decrease.
Yes, sir.
Energy of the satellite decreases. Energy of the satellite decreases. Will the radius of the satellite decrease or increase?
Decrease.
Increase.
Decrease.
Increase.
Increase.
The radius will decrease, right?
Increase. No, V naught is root gm.
Decreasing.
Energy बोला है, V naught नहीं बोला है. Energy decreases. Will the radius increase or decrease?
Energy decreases. Radius decreases.
Sorry, sir. Radius decreases.
Hopelessly bad law. Keep shut. G capital M small m by 2r is the total energy of the satellite in the orbit. इतना डिटेल्ड में मैंने बताया आप लोगों को, भूल जाते हो. क्लास एंटरटेनमेंट हो गया आप लोगों के लिए, याद रखना पड़ता है. d by dr minus g capital M small m by 2 minus 1 by r square. This is g capital M small m by 2r. dE by dr is positive, implies r increases, energy increases. R increases, energy decreases. Have we done this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So it should be 2r square, right?
हाँ बोलते रहते. No. Resistance offered by cosmic dust is directly proportional to v squared. The proportionality constant is k. The proportionality constant is k. They are asking you what is the time after which the satellite will fall on Earth. Find the time after which. Find the time after which satellite falls on Earth. Will you try the question?
Yes, sir.
I am waiting for.
d by dr will be gmm by 2r square, right?
क्यों? 2r square, right? Here we wrote r square by mistake. But bottom line, dE by dr is positive. Implies if energy increases, r increases. If energy decreases, r decreases. So here, because of cosmic dust, energy decreases because there is resistance to it. Energy decreases, radius should decrease. After what time will it fall on the surface of Earth? What will happen in this case is, because of the cosmic dust, the resistance offered will decrease the energy of the satellite. As the energy is decreasing, radius is decreasing.
Yes, sir.
As the radius is decreasing, it is coming closer to the surface, right?
Yes, sir.
So F is equal to m into dV by dt minus kV square. dV by v square is minus k by m dt. Time t equal to 0, it was V initial. Time t equal to t, it is V final. V initial is root over of Gm by Nr. V final is root over of Gm by R. I'll write it outside. This is V final. V final is root over of Gm by R V initial is root over of Gm by N.
So one question, how do we know that like the velocity will be tangential to the Earth's surface?
It will be spiraling inside, right?
Yes.
So when it is spiraling, the radius will gradually decrease because of the cosmic dust. Suddenly there will be no transition.
Yes. Sir.
So the transition will be smooth. It will not be perfectly perpendicular because it is spiraling. It will be circular, means it will be perpendicular. Rather tangent. So there will be a small velocity component inwards. That's why it is coming inwards.
Yes.
But that will be small enough for us to calculate.
Okay, so we neglect it. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So 1 second.
1 second, 1 second पहले बोलना पड़ेगा.
Yeah, so thank
No, Ashutosh from Andheri is typing what is left after Kepler's laws. अभी इतना चिंता क्यों है आपको? जो पढ़ा रहा हूँ उस पर कॉन्सेंट्रेट करो. मैं What do you expect me to answer? Let's dance. क्या करूँ मैं? बीच में प्रॉब्लम बीच में छोड़ के आपको what is left after Kepler's laws समझा. Now listen, you will solve this. This is capital M, this is small m. You projected this with escape velocity UE. Time taken by small m to reach a height of capital H. Find the time taken by small m to reach a height of capital H. Time taken by small m to reach a height of capital H. You will try the problem. One more problem down the lane, gravitation will be over. So I'll give you 5 minutes for this problem. I'm in no hurry. Find the time taken to reach a height of capital H.
M has been given escape velocity.
Yes, small m has been given escape velocity.
So what is H?
You'll have to find capital H. Find the height to which find the time taken to reach the height of capital H.
Okay, sir.
Find the time taken to reach the height of capital H.
Sir, we have done this question.
Nice. No, there is no approximation like H is small compared to capital R. No approximation given. What did I do?
Conservation of energy.
energy.
UE was escape velocity. UE is 2 gm by r, root over of.
Yes, sir.
So square of it, I'll be left with this, and I have a half here. Gm by r is equal to v square by 2 minus gm by small. So far, so good. Now this turns out to be 0, which you should have expected by now. Because what will be the total energy if I give velocity equal to escape velocity?
0.
Zero, sir.
From negative it will come to 0. The moment I give escape velocity, total energy is 0. I give more than escape velocity, total energy is positive. Do you recollect this?
Yes, sir.
Now this is v square by 2 minus gm by r. So without actually substituting this, you should have made a guess that that is 0. Never mind, hereafter do this. V square will be equal to 2 gm by small r. So I'll have a square root. V I will write as Vr by d. Root over of 2 gm into 1 by r. You obviously know why we are writing it this way. Now, next step, r dr is root over of 2 gm dt. You are moving from small r equal to r plus h. 0 to t. 0
R is under root.
Is it under root r?
under root r means here it is a half. Right? Simplification beyond this should not be difficult for you.
Sir, I'm having a doubt. Sir, I wrote the equation m small m times dv by dt equals to g mm by r square.
What is that? You equated force?
At a distance of small r, sir.
At a distance of smaller force you wrote as mass into acceleration.
Yes, sir.
Acceleration you wrote as dv by dt. From there calculate v, you should get that answer.
Okay, sir. And then I wrote dv by dt as v dv by dr.
No issue.
So from that, like time gets removed. Like you get energy equations only. You don't get time in the equation.
Hence beating around the bush, you from acceleration you want to calculate velocity. वहीं पर आओ. That you have to get because this energy हम लोगों ने कहाँ से derive कर दी? F dot dr से ही तो derive किया.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now this question was asked 2 years back by JEE mains paper. What is the name of the satellite which was space shuttle which was launched to Mars from Earth by our country?
Mangalyaan.
Mars orbiter mission, mom.
Mangalyaan,
Mangalyaan.
right?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
this is the question given. This is sun. This is a distance RE and RM. Distance of Mars from the center of the sun, Earth from the center of the sun. RE is given. This is given in an objective paper, right? Calculators are not permitted. So students had trouble of doing the simplification, but you will have to get accustomed to it. 1 in 10 questions will have bad simplification. 1.5 into 10 to the power 11 meters. RM, radius of the Mars orbit from the center of the sun, 2.28 into 10 to the power 11 meters. But when you see the problem, you will feel they should have rounded it off to 2.3. It will make my life easy. But they didn't. Accept the reality the way it is. You may like it, you may not like it. One question also matters for me as far as JEE is concerned. Question is simple, just for the sake of simplification, some students left. Helplessness. So don't develop this laziness of avoiding the simplification. I can afford to be lazy, not you. I skip the last step of simplification doesn't mean you people will skip. It will be a costly mistake for you. Now, what JEE people ask you is, estimate the time taken by Mangalyaan to reach Mars from Earth. Estimate the time taken for Mangalyaan to reach Mars from Earth. From Earth, when you fired the space shuttle, Mars would have been somewhere here. By the time the space shuttle came here, Mars will reach here. That's the way it is done. Observe the diagram carefully. JEE people didn't give you the diagram. By drawing the diagram, I have given you the hint. Estimate the time taken by Mangalyaan to reach Mars from Earth. Estimate the time taken by Mangalyaan to reach Mars from Earth.
So was the velocity of Mangalyaan given?
No. अब लो जी people इतने गधे भी हैं डिस्टेंस देंगे वेलोसिटी देंगे और टाइम पूछेंगे
Or they can give the initial velocity. No?
Yes, sir.
nothing was given. One student asked me, sir, if somebody is in touch with the news, don't you think they can answer it without calculations? No, actually
Sir,
they cannot.
definitely not.
They cannot because they changed these values. Somebody typed an answer, but that is not there among the 4 options given by JEE people. Okay, listen.
Sir, can you give 2 minutes? Only 2 minutes.
Okay.
Sir, is the answer 257.8 days?
Answer given is 260. Isn't this your Kepler's third law?
Yes, sir.
In an elliptical orbit, this will not be radius, it will be the semi-major axis. This is the elliptical orbit. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now the key catch is I don't want the Mangalyaan to come back to Earth. I want it to reach Mars. So my answer will be T/2. If capital T is the time taken for one complete revolution, my answer will be capital T/2. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
RE, RN, GI, proportionality constant. Mass of sun should be given, capital G should be given. Then I get proportionality constant. And that too, that is for a circular orbit. I didn't derive for elliptical orbit. You don't have that in the syllabus.
So do we have this proportionality in the syllabus, sir?
If it is circular orbit, I know the value of the proportionality constant. But for that, I should know the mass of sun. Now, in an elliptical orbit, I don't even know the proportionality constant. That is not there in the syllabus for me. Now, what next? T square directly proportional to RE cube, radius of Earth. Earth is going around the sun.
Yes, sir.
I know this is 365 days. Can I divide both the equations and get rid of the proportionality?
Yes, sir.
As simple as it. T square by 365 days whole square is RE plus RM by 2 by RE whole cube. RE is given, RM is given, 365. You are asking me for capital T by 2.
Sir, it can't be RM minus RE shortest distance we will try to find.
अरे नहीं, क्या RM minus RE करके क्या करो, क्या आएगा? RE plus RM is semi-major axis. T square is directly proportional to R cube. R should either be the radius of the circular orbit or semi-major axis.
If you have used only the radius of Earth's cube, then it means that it is going in a circular orbit, right?
No, yaar. This is close to an elliptical orbit. Earth is not a perfect circular orbit. It is close to an elliptical orbit, but semi-major axis will be close to RE. Because
Sir, we have to consider RE as the semi-major axis of Earth's orbit, right?
Right.
प्रभु इसमें फ्यूल ज्यादा वेस्ट होएगा सर ऐसे जाएंगे
क्या
इससे फ्यूल ज्यादा वेस्ट होएगा ना सर लंबा डिस्टेंस होगा
समझ में नहीं आ रहा है आप जो बोल रहे
सर मैं बोल रहा हूँ सर इससे फ्यूल ज्यादा वेस्ट होएगा ना ऐसे जाएंगे हम लोग लंबा तो
Somebody else tell me what he's saying.
सर ये कह रहा है कि इसमें फ्यूल ज्यादा वेस्ट होगा लंबा डिस्टेंस कवर करेंगे तो
Oh, भाई साहब, gravity, sun's gravity is pulling it. It's going in an elliptical orbit around sun. All you have done is given that velocity v1, so that this will be the closest distance of approach. That will be the farthest distance of approach. You just gave velocity. From here till here, it is going into sun's gravity.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So now we can solve the whole module and achieve.
Right. Homework. Complete gravitation. When is our next lecture?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, last half an hour, I'll be taking up the doubts of gravitation. First HCV, then booklet. Right? Next 2-3 lectures, I'll take doubts in the last half an hour. Please start completing it.
Sir, what's the answer of this question?
260 days approx. It will come to 57 point something.
257.8.
Sir, I got somewhere around 255.5.
चलेगा. There is no other answer close by. 500 days
Okay.
is one option, 320 is one option, 260 is one option, 220 is one option.
So 500 was for the T by 2.
Yeah, T by 2, yeah.
So they
Or
wanted to
like we had to
confuse
find
us.
T by 2.
Confuse.
No.
अरे नहीं JEE mains people इतना दिमाग नहीं लगाते. They generally go for straight hits. They will not lay that big traps.
So here we won't consider gravitational forces exerted by Earth and Mars.
No, those will be negligible when compared to gravitational force of Sun.
Okay, sir.
Next Tuesday we are starting electrostatics, right?
Yes. And last half an hour I'll be taking the doubts. So keep completing gravitation or finish it off as early as possible.
Sir, if you have no doubt, is the lecture over?
Yes.
So you start with HCV or booklet?
First HCV, then booklet.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Good night. Thank you.
Good night to sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, good night.